What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. Last week I was on vacation in Egypt. Sometimes it's important to take some time off and so that you don't burn out and that you can reset so that you can up productivity once you get back to work. So I'm all fresh and ready for this new coming year. Today's video is an interesting one. It's for you guys out there who are new to the app and game space, and you might right now hate your job and you're looking to turn your passion of making games or apps into a full-time income. I certainly know how that feels because a few years ago that was me. I absolutely hated my job. It was such a challenge waking up every morning and doing something that you didn't enjoy. So I am truly grateful that I can now make a living making games, which is my passion. So I want to share some tips on how you guys can go and achieve the same thing. I'm going to be sharing 4 fundamentals that you need to follow in order to turn your passion into a full-time income. And when I talk about being a full-time game dev, I don't mean making games for other people and getting paid that way. I mean creating games yourself and having those games create income for yourself. The first thing I would focus on if I were to start all over again from scratch would be to choose and focus on a particular niche. What does your studio represent? If we're talking about games, what kind of genre of games are you going to be creating for your audience? Is it going to be card games? Will it be hyper casual? Once you know that, you can start to do the most important thing, which is research. Because if you don't understand how these games work, you're never going to be able to cater them for an audience. You actually need to be an expert in that particular niche, and you need to be able to know all of these things and able to reverse engineer competitive success in that particular space. So what I would do is, if I was building a portfolio of games, let's say card games, I would focus on those publishers out there that have that are super successful, that have games in the card space, and I would simply reverse engineer and peel back those layers of what makes those games successful. And this is going to take quite a bit of time because you need to be competent enough and understand how these games work, why they do the things they do in terms of monetization, in terms of marketing. The blueprint is there for you guys to follow in terms of successful games that are already on the app stores. So all you need to do is become competent and learn what makes those games successful. It sounds easy, but actually when you look at the little nuances in those games, you'll find a lot of things that you probably miss in your own games. And that's what you want to do, is you want to emulate their success. And reverse engineering is a big part of why I was able to turn my passion into a full-time income. Once you know what type of apps and games your studio is going to be centered around building, you then want to build a team around this idea. So this is actually a really difficult part, and one of the main reasons people don't ever see any success, because there's no continuity. Without a reliable team, you simply aren't going to go anywhere. You could have a ship that's ready to sail, but if you don't have the GPS coordinates to your destination, you're just going to be stuck in the same place. So your team are the people that's going to help you get to that destination, and it's a really important part, not just in the app space or the game space, but in any endeavor in business. You simply can't do it alone, and you need a reliable team. I won't go into a lot of depth about finding the right team members because I have made numerous videos on that before, but you want to find people that are competent, that can do the work to the standard that you're pleased with. You obviously want to find someone affordable, because when you're starting out, you don't have a lot of resources in terms of money. So you want to build a relationship with someone, and if you don't have a lot of money, you want to connect with them on the human level and make sure that you're portraying a win-win situation for them, i.e. long-term working cooperation, so that they know that when they do a good job for you, you're going to end up using them for a lot of projects, and it's going to be a win-win for you both. But this step takes a long time. It took me actually like over a year to find the right developers and artists. So don't rush this process. It's really important. Make sure that you interview people, make sure that you give them sample work to do so that you're happy. Make sure that you talk with them over Zoom if they are in a different country. Make sure you build up that relationship, and always like I said, portray a win-win situation for you and for the freelancers and team members, and that way everyone wins and they're all happy. So yeah, this is a really important step. Take your time, make sure that you find the right people to help you build those games and apps, and you'll find a lot more success that way. The third thing I would focus on is focusing on a specific marketing channel. You see, so many aspiring developers get stuck on the same problem, and that's simply getting traffic into their app or their game. You see, you need people coming into your game or your app, and therefore collecting data so that you can make informed decisions on the direction you need to go. So without people coming in, you have no idea if your game or your app is going to be successful or not. You don't have any data, and then you can't make any decisions. So this is also a really important step, and one that's going to make or break your studio. And I was lucky enough to have a background in SEO, which I kind of applied into ASO. For those of you who don't know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization, basically ranking websites on Google for different keywords. So that translated very easily into ranking games on the App Store, and I was able to build my studio around ASO and still get tens of thousands of downloads every month for my studio. So what I would recommend is focusing on one marketing strategy. A lot of developers get lost because they're focusing on this social media, then they're focusing a little bit on ASO, and they're spreading themselves very thin. Remember, you only have a certain amount of attention to give something, so you want to focus all that attention on one marketing strategy. Whether that be ASO, you could go the influencer route, build a relationship with influencers, and obviously give them equity in your game for them to promote your game and get traffic in that way. You could focus on solely social media. You could start a YouTube channel around your niche and build up an audience that way. The thing is, you have to focus on just one, and then it's going to take some time, guys. If you don't have resources in terms of money to run paid user acquisition campaigns, you need to understand that this process is going to take a while. All the while still collecting email addresses from people that you have funneled into your game. So that's also really important from the get-go. The first people coming into your app or your game, you collecting email addresses, and then like I said, focus on just one marketing strategy, and then once you see some traction, you can diversify and explore different alternatives. The fourth and final thing I would do if I was starting all over again, and this is something that kind of haunts me to this day still, because I wish I would have done it sooner. It would have saved me so much time. Instead of making mistakes on my own time, I could have learned from someone else. And that is reaching out to industry veterans and mentors, and then building relationships up with them. That way I would have learned a lot quicker. You see, we live in an amazing time. Everyone is pretty much accessible online. We have great tools like LinkedIn, where you can simply type in a company and it'll show you the people working for that company, their position. So my advice is to reach out and use those tools. Reach out to people in your niche that have found some level of success. You'd be very surprised at who answers. Just don't go in there with the mentality of just wanting to take from them, because they're probably very busy. They value their time. So you'd be a lot more likely to get reciprocal value when you offer them something of value in return. Maybe take them out for lunch, or it could be anything. Maybe you have a particular skill set that could help them. But yeah, always make sure there's a win-win situations, and that way they're a lot more likely to reciprocate. So even now, I still reach out to people above me. I've had situations where game designers have critiqued my games and they've pretty much 2x my revenues just with a few pieces of advice. So that is really powerful, guys. Make sure that you do reach out to the right people, and yeah, you're a lot more likely to achieve success that way. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, if you found some value in it, smash the like button, subscribe if you do enjoy this type of content, and let me know in the comments what problems and obstacles you are facing on your journey to becoming a full-time game dev. And I love reading your comments, and I always try and reply. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Anyway guys, see you on the next one. Stay safe and peace out.